New simulation got added for our PMP exam preparation. And this time I'm focusing on the quality management tool, the control chart, Pareto chart, as well as the scatter diagram. I know most of you must be using it in your day-to-day work. Then it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. If you're only focusing on PMP exam, then also you don't have to worry about it because PMP exam may not get into that deep understanding. But if you want to really develop an understanding beyond PMP exam, and as of now in your current jobs, you are not getting opportunity to make these charts, then I think this simulation, which is available as a part of pmp.isenpage.com, you should try, especially when you are having access to the pro, which is part of our PMP program. So let me show you quickly a demo so that you understand how to use it. So here you go to simulations. You might be aware that there are many other features in the pmp.isenbridge.com. Many of them are also available for free. Once you enroll as a basic user, you can see short videos and many other things. Yeah, but here I'm directly focusing on the pro feature, which is a premium feature. It is not available to the basic users. But if you are our PMP client, you have a pro access, else you need to connect with us. Now, on top of release, Kanban, and predictive planning simulation, now I added quality management tools simulation here. So let's start this. Now here I'm showing you control chart, Pareto chart, as well as scatter diagram. Let's start with a control chart. Now here you can add the rows and define the limits, and based on that you can see the control chart. Yeah, so you can add one by one row. I know it becomes little difficult job and people feel lazy about adding it. So what I have done it, I have added a sample data for you. So you can create a click load sample and play with the data. You can create your own data, you can modify the loaded data, but to start with, just you can click the button and you can say load sample. So it is like that there are different days and there is a value. Now value you can consider as a defect count or as a lead time, cycle time count. I'm not getting into that detail. There is a something, say number of defects on a given day, or say the observed time it took to deliver something on a given day. So those kind of numbers are there. Consider it as a defect number on a given day. And then you have collected this data, different days. Now you are seeing it in the format of control chart. You have a mean value where all these things are written. Then you have an upper control limit and you have a lower control limit. Now, as of now, by default, it auto calculate the upper and lower control limit based on 3 sigma, that standard deviation thing. You can ignore that, but you can also write your own. You can say, okay, I want to put it like my own limit, upper control limit as a 70, and maybe a lower control limit, I might want to put it as a 50. Yeah, so you can say, I will put it like this. Yeah, so not the CL value. CL value will remain whatever it was. Uh, so let me remain auto calculated, and I say the upper control limit is 70. The mean value I keep it as it is, and the below control limit I can put it as a 30. Yeah, lower control limit. So now these things is changed. Now sometime you can have a specification limits also. So I can say show specification limits, something like your management may be asking for. And here I can say the specification limit may be upper control limit is 75 and lower control limit is 25. Yeah, so I can put it like this. Yeah, so this is how it is visible. Now here you can see that there are different dates. It's a line graph. Yeah, so dates are x-axis, the y-axis is the number coming from here, the value coming from here. So for example, on a day 3, if you want to change this, say to a 70, so you know that this goes to 70. Yeah, it changes your graph, so you can play with that. Yeah, so you have an understanding how various numbers are going. Now if you cross the limit like 74, then it will show you that how it breaches that particular the upper control limit. So you can play with this particular data and see how this data relates to the control chart. Now here you can see the dotted line showing the control limits, and the upper dotted lines, the orange one, showing you the specification control limit. So I have given details about it. I'm also trying to simulate something called rule of 7, which you might have learned in your classes, where we tell if we have a 7 consecutive points in the one direction of the mean, we also see that this is an area of concern. This is your control chart. Now here we also have a dynamic insight. So 1 point exceeds the control limit, special cause direction. You can say we need to do something here. Something is breached. Yeah, so it is giving that idea. Rule of 7, two occurrence of 7 consecutive points on the one side of the mean. So you also get that particular information. You also get mean value, sigma, and points, so that you can ignore if you are feeling it too complicated. But this is the control chart. Now, from exam perspective, you know that control chart you use to ensure that system is or the process is under control or out of control. It is something which gives you data over a period of time. It's a time-based data, and you keep observing, and there will be some deviation which is acceptable under the limits. Whenever the limits are getting breached, you need to do an investigation. Whenever the rule of 7 is getting breached, you need to do an investigation. So play with this data to develop a better understanding of control chart. Yeah. So that's a one tool. I go back and show you the Pareto chart. Now here, same game, you can load data. And again, you can improve that particular thing. So this time I am specifically talking about that we have a defect records. So let me load the data. And here I'm talking about that we have a date, we have a description of a defect. These are defects. And there are some reasons. Yeah, there's a missing document reason, the data entry errors. So we have a 50 defects, and for all these defects, we have a reasons identified. So say we did a brainstorming session and we have identified these reasons. You can edit and delete if you want, but this is something is done. Now, these many defects are there. There are 50 defects are there discovered on different time. Now, if I want to identify which are the reasons are creating the maximum number of defects, so what I do, I can kind of a group. Yeah, so I can say, let me see the missing document. Okay, where is the missing document? Probably it is coming. Okay, let me scroll little up and say the missing documents. Yeah, so I can say, okay, these are the number of 12 records are coming under missing documents. Yeah, so I can filter. If you have Excel file, you can filter. Now, this thing is getting compiled here. We can say, okay, per reason type, we have a number of occurrence. And then this thing is getting plotted in the format of a Pareto chart. Yeah. So you have a bar chart which is ordered. The reasons which are having more numbers. So say data entry error were like 20. 20 means out of these 50 defects. If I go to data entry error, you find that there are 20 records. So this is something we are compiling and we are showing, okay, this one is 20, this one is this much, this one is this much. So we are putting it like this. Yeah. So this is something we create. Now you can see for many reasons, we have only one or two defects. Yeah. So we know that there are many other reasons which are not that much significant. If I can take care of these 2, 3 reasons, I will be probably taking care of many of the defects. So here we are showing cumulative number, this line. So till here, all 50 defects will be covered, 100%. So I can say in the beginning, we have 20. So this is a 20. Yeah. Then in the 20, say percent of the 20 means the 40% of it. That's something where we are. Now from here, we have a 12 added. So we add 12. Yeah. And then we got a 64%. So till here, we are showing 64%. Then we have added 8, then it is becoming 80%. So this line is showing that if we take care of these three numbers, three reasons, we will be taking care of 80% of the defects. Yeah. So this way we can show how we are aggregating, and ultimately these are the main reasons which we need to be fixing on. Here also we show some insights so that you can develop the understanding of Pareto chart. Again, in your day-to-day work, you will be doing it far more complicated analysis, but this is how you can visualize how the raw data, like a defect data, get filtered, analyzed into category-wise data. You can say pivot table in case you are visualizing Excel sheet. So you have a defects, you put categories there, then you create a pivot table. From a pivot table, you create a bar chart, then you order the bar chart, and that thing is your Pareto chart. Yeah. So this is your second tool. Then we have a scatter diagram. Sometimes this becomes little difficult to understand. So here I have created 3 data set also, a positive correlation shape, no correlation shape, negative correlation shape, and clear the data. Yeah. So let me load something. So here what I have created, over a period of last 26 weeks, we had a overtime. Yeah, there was a overtime per week, and we also had a number of defects. Yeah. So I want to understand, do we have any correlation, anything which can be related between overtime and defects? Because I suspect there is a relationship between these two. So this thing can be done with the help of scattered diagram. So here we have a number of hours of overtime, yeah, for a different weeks. And then we are putting the number of defects we found on those hours. Yeah, whenever we had those number of hours. So 2 points means there were 2 weeks where this particular, say we had a 9 hours of over time on 2 weeks. Yeah, week 6 was also there and week 7 was also having the same. So we have more dots. Yeah. Now, if there could be many, if we have a more data set, it's a 26 record data set only, you can add more. And you can also add it. For example, here you are saying defect is 3. You can say no, defect was 4. Yeah, for example. Yeah, so this will also show you the change, yeah, in the graph. And I can say, okay, this is how I want to focus on. So it will show you the movement, yeah, accordingly. So we have a overtime and then we are showing defect counts. Now, if the kind of line is emerging, then I can say that as the overtime is increasing, number of defects are increasing and there is a correlationship. The interpretation you can ignore. For PMP perspective, we are creating correlation factor and we are giving some conclusion here, but this is how you visualize the scatter diagram. Now, there could be a no correlationship data. I can clear this and I can load that data. Then you see this diagram is spread across. Yeah. So there is a overtime happening, but defects are coming randomly, sometime more, sometime less. If for the same 26-week data, when I relate the defect and the overtime, if the data comes up like this, I can say these things are not correlated. I don't have to worry about them. And then there could be a negative correlationship also, where we say that as the overtime is increasing, defects are going down. Yeah. So that could be another possible way of visualizing it. So whenever question asks, you want to see how one variable, possibly one trend, is impacting the another trend, you can say that I can see the relationship between these two with the help of scattered diagram. So as a part of our PMP tool, you can play with these simulations, and you know that there are other simulations also, especially the predictive planning simulation is pretty interesting one, where you can create your own things, and you can play and watch our existing test data as well. And this can be a very, like this one I feel is very, very advanced because it shows Gantt chart and so many things. Yeah, but as of now in this video, I wanted to promote our quality simulation, which you can locate by going to quality management tool. Yeah. If you have any queries, connect with us. If you want to know about our PMP program, you can definitely connect with us and we can share more details with you.